the Nintendo Direct is coming up very soon after a very long hiatus. So what should we expect from it? Also, what's going on with the DualSense controller stick drifting? Are they suffering from the same issues that the Joy-Cons did back then? And even worse, what's up with the terrible performance reports from the mobile RTX 3080? More on that for the Tech Summit podcast, episode 28. I am Francisco.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jonathan.
Yeah, here we actually have a guest coming up.
That's right.
Our buddy Jonathan Javier is over here, and he's going to be joining us on episode 28. We would like to bring in more guests more often as well, but this guy is going to be the number one.
And of course, remember, if you are watching on YouTube, all of that social media will be right down over here. And Jonathan, you have some social media to put there? Or
Yeah, John Nathan TNT. You could actually find me in most websites with that.
All right, we'll put that in there too.
Like Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, I was able to get all of that in one name.
Wonderful.
And of course, if you are listening in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, all of that information will be in the respective descriptions. Now let's give a round of applause to Francisco for sticking the landing on the intro there. All right. Oh, hold on.
Thank you. I would like to thank my mother and my father for raising me to stutter.
Now, with that said,
Yes.
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct. Since this is going to be for the first half of 2021,
That's right.
my initial guess is going to be Nocturne, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, because it is slated to come out in the spring. And with that said, we do have to...
Technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Anyway, while he's fiddling with that, let's get a little bit of details in. So Nintendo just announced that they're going to be having a full-sized Nintendo Direct tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the first full-size Nintendo Direct since September of 2019, and the first Direct of any kind since October of 2020 last year. There's a lot of fervor and buzz and, Nintendo hype as it always comes around. People are always hyping about things. Maybe F-Zero comes back finally. It's not. But yeah, we're going to have, there's a lot of expectations and people wondering what's going to happen, if we're going to get a Switch Pro, whatever it may be. So guys, what do you think is going to come out of this?
I think that the Switch Pro is going to be announced. I think it's going to be the last announcement of this Direct, but I'm very excited for it nonetheless. I would love to be able to get my hands on one for review. Now, what are your thoughts actually on the Switch Pro? Because so far, like, the rumors entail things like possible 4K gaming, like when you dock it. So that probably means that we're going to get a more powerful dock as well. And we are probably even expecting a chunkier, bigger console that probably has a 1080p screen by default. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, as soon as you said 4K gaming, that's the first thing I said. Like, it's probably gonna weigh way more than what it does now, because it most likely needs to be, unfortunately, for that. But yeah, I think it's overdue. I think what has it been, like 4 years since this?
Almost. Yeah. It came out in March.
Right. When you look at, it's actually kind of short if you think about it, because from the Wii U to the Wii, the Wii came out in 2006. The Wii U came out in 13 or 12.
It was 12.
Right. So this would be relatively quick. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce it and it actually doesn't release for about a year.
Really?
So I don't know. You guys think it's gonna be like holiday?
I think it's going to be yeah. Like, I would see that coming out most likely around like the holiday season and stuff. Mostly because yes, there's like plenty of time, and this is something that's actually been rumored for quite a while, since 2018, like just a year after the Nintendo Switch came out, which is pretty insane. So it looks like that has been at the very least in the back of Nintendo's mind for quite a while, and I really do hope to see a Nintendo Switch Pro coming up, but I hope that it is actually worthwhile and not too much more expensive than the one that we have now.
Right. But yeah, like you said, Switch Pro is definitely necessary at this point. There's a lot of games that come out for the Switch that just struggle to run on the regular system, even docked, let alone portably.
Yeah, exactly.
The Outer Worlds had a lot of problems. And of course, Bayonetta 3, one of those games that everyone's going to be hoping to see tomorrow, but probably won't. Bayonetta 3 will absolutely need a Switch Pro because the ports for 1 and 2, or specifically 2, those are games that are supposed to be running at 60 FPS,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of times where it dips down to 30 during
Mhm.
moments of intense action, which is just not acceptable, especially if they're going to be pushing the graphics even further, which, knowing Platinum, they probably will.
Yeah. Bayonetta is a very fast-paced game, so like 60 FPS is required. It's almost like trying to play an FPS on like 30 frames per second. It's just it's a bit jarring.
I use fighting games at 30 as a bigger example, honestly.
Really?
There's some shooters that are at 30 FPS. They exist, They're not usually the bigger ones, but 30 FPS Doom on Switch runs at 30.
Yeah,
as an
right.
example.
It's also not that enjoyable.
Exactly.
personally.
But like it happens. But no, a fighting game running at 30 is just not forgivable. For a fighting game, when you have to like rely on like frame perfect little things, like imagine trying to play Street Fighter at like 30 FPS. It's not happening.
I honestly wouldn't mind.
Really?
Yeah, but that's me. I mean, like
Now
I'm
we know
a
you don't
more
play fighting
casual-
games.
No, I do. I'm just more casual in that regard. I mean, do you like fighting games?
Yeah, I do. I actually grew up with like on the Dragon Ball Z Budokais. Growing up,
yes.
I love those games.
Okay, so we're definitely talking about just Budokai because like Budokai Tenkaichi is like the 3D ones where you're flying around.
Yeah,
and the
I
Budokai
wasn't.
ones are the 2.5D
You know what?
ones.
This is they had I think it was called Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the Wii.
Oh yeah, that
That
one
was
a 3D.
awesome.
Yeah.
That game was really good.
Had every character ever.
Yes, it really did.
It was awesome, and there was like a motion controls too, where you could actually like push it back and push it forward and stuff. Never got used besides that one time that I wanted to see if it actually worked.
Yeah, I don't think I ever used it.
Did it work?
It did work.
Okay.
It worked beautifully, as beautifully as a kid can expect it to work. But yeah, like I would say that I'm definitely much more on the casual side when it comes to fighting games like this. I do tend to prefer like 3D fighters.
Yeah.
Like Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Okay, so
4.
your arcade, your arcade sort of fighters ish.
Wait, that's not really an arcade fighter.
No, I'm trying to think what the term was. I don't want to say anime fighters because you have BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, which are actual 2D fighters, but like
Maybe like an arena fighter.
there we go, arena fighters.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, arena fighters is the correct term. Yes.
Yeah, so like more so an arena fighter because they do tend to be more fast paced for my liking. But like besides that, I usually don't really mind playing fighting games at 30 frames per second. But then again, I'm usually not a winner in these fighting games. I usually end up on the receiving end of losing. So when it comes to shooting games, I feel like that's less forgivable because there it's like if you're playing at 30 frames per second, I feel like that's a bit too slow
Oh, that's fair.
for shooting games. Yeah, I mean that's just my opinion.
In any case, what else are you guys expecting from this direct?
I really have no idea. I'm like old school, and I'm like, damn, no more E3. Like I know every company's splitting up and doing their own thing, but the childhood in me is like, damn, like I'm gonna miss just seeing everything in one kind of thing. So a moment of silence for E3 in general.
Yeah, everyone's going to have like their own events now.
He asked for a
pretty
moment of
much.
silence. He asked for a moment of silence. I was getting ready and
Yeah. It's gone.
I got the wrong sound effect. I meant to get the. No, not that one. No, not that one. No, not that one. No, where is it? There we go.
There it is.
okay.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted.
I know the board.
Yes,
I'll control
you do.
the board.
He actually uses it a lot more than me.
But I mean, I think they did announce that there's still going to be some sort of virtual E3 presentation. But yeah, I don't see why most companies would really bother with it.
Yeah.
Like, think about the biggest presenters for E3 in the last couple of years. Yeah, Nintendo, which just does their own thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Sony ditched in the last year.
Yeah.
Microsoft is okay; they exist.
Yeah.
Bethesda got bought by Microsoft. Ubisoft, I don't know if they really want to do that right now.
Yeah.
And EA's been drifting away from it for a while anyway, for a while too. So
Yeah.
and then I guess there was Konami all the way back in 2008.
Ah, yes. You know, I always think of Konami as a company that makes Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So like it's a little hard for me to see them as like the company that makes video games, but I know that that's what they're most popular for. So yeah, I guess I just have to be in acceptance of that.
All right, so I'm gonna roll down some franchises, some big Nintendo franchises everyone cares about. Let me
Sure.
know if you guys think we're gonna see something from them in this coming, direct.
Go for it.
Mario.
No,
You don't think there's anything Mario?
I don't think so.
What about you?
I have no idea. What was it that we said earlier? Was it lost my train of thought. We were talking about that there's a possibility of something, but I forgot what it was, and I feel like it was Mario related.
I don't think
No?
so.
The thing that people are sort
Mm.
of are thinking about possibly happening is a port of Galaxy 2 for the Switch, because remember it was excluded from the 3D All Stars collection.
That's right.
So they're thinking maybe Galaxy 2,
I guess that could happen.
or like at least a reminder of, hey guys, you only have one more month to buy 3D All Stars.
Did 3D Land already come out on Switch or?
3D World, but yes.
Oh yeah,
I think this past
right,
week.
Right, same thing. Disney World, Disneyland. Who cares? But okay, so like it already did come out.
Yeah, we already got that. We already got that with Bowser's Fury and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. Because I was going to say, okay, like we might get like a tiny mention there,
Right.
but I really don't think that there's going to be much Mario related because we already have quite a lot of Mario content already. We
All right.
okay,
All
I'm
right.
guessing that you think that there is going to be something.
There's probably going to be something, but I don't think anyone's going to really care about it. I mean, I'll care a lot about Galaxy 2. I care very much about Galaxy 2, but
Interesting. Okay,
like I don't even know. I don't think we see Galaxy 2 now.
interesting.
Fine. Next, Zelda.
Zelda, I mean, maybe an update on Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever it's going to be called.
I should remind you that this is Zelda's 35th anniversary.
Oh, so there has to be something.
There's absolutely something.
I'm not sure. Do they have like Eddie like sort of like? Do you see them like re-releasing like classic Zelda games
There could be like a
Yeah,
Zelda 3D All Stars, probably.
to celebrate the anniversary? Maybe.
And
That's probably
possibly-
what happens. Like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Wind Waker in one collection right there.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I wanted to say it, but it's okay. No, yeah. Ocarina of Time did get re-released for the 3DS.
Majora's Mask too. Both of them.
Yeah, and Majora's Mask as well. So like, I could totally see them probably coming to the Switch at some point, especially since they were meant to be played on like just one screen anyway.
Do you think they make it for a limited time like they did with Mario?
That's
Probably.
crazy. By the way.
Tell us about it.
That it makes no sense. Like like I understand if there's physical copies that are sold out, but if you could control, I don't know. I don't understand the concept, because what is it, dude? Is their business plan? Okay, we're gonna re-release it again later or something, and more people would buy it? Because there's no, I don't understand it. If there's a physical limit to how many are out there, I understand that. Okay, it's sold out.
Yeah.
But if it's a downloadable, like, what's the business side?
We sold out of digital codes.
It makes no sense.
What I think is that that they can just make a lot more money in the short term if they make it just like a limited time only, and especially since it's got classics like Super Mario 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine. Like these are games that people constantly say, oh, I wish Mario games were like this again, and like there's just that nostalgia factor. People are just going to be a lot more inclined to rush and get that because it's either now or never.
Which I personally don't buy into, because Nintendo games are what people in the industry call evergreen titles, in that they almost always keep selling consistently, and that's why they never go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
We are several years on. Mario Odyssey still sells millions on the regular.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, same thing. Like, you do not need to put these games on sale because people are always going to be buying them, because you're always going to have little kids who are getting the Switch for the first time and are going to want to play the newest Mario, the newest Mario Kart, the newest Zelda, the newest Pokemon,
Ugh.
which I'm going to set aside because they already announced a Pokemon-related announcement teasing for later this month, because it is the 25th anniversary. So I'm going to hazard a guess that we're not going to see too much Pokemon stuff tomorrow. I don't expect to, at least.
Right. Though, honestly, the only Pokemon-related announcement that I'm okay with hearing about is just a Diamond and Pearl remake. I don't want to hear, oh, there's just more DLC for Sword and Shield. Here are the rest of the Pokemon that we didn't give you.
Most
before.
people are expecting a Diamond and Pearl re-release or remake. Excuse me.
If that's what happens, they have a guaranteed customer.
Most people
from
are
me.
expecting that.
Yeah.
We know Post Malone's going to have a virtual concert. For the Pokemon. Now that's a mix. Post Malone and Pokemon.
Jeez, I mean, I don't even know how you would combine the two.
They found a way.
Well, let's see if it works, I guess.
Do you expect anything from Pokemon?
I don't know. I have no idea, and I'm not a Pokemon fan like that. So
Despicable.
yeah, I
Despicable.
don't care.
Wow.
If-
Wow.
Whatever happens.
That's all right.
You might as well have punched me in the face.
But you
there
know what?
because
I
it's
know
equivalent.
that it's a thing, a very big thing. I used to work at Best Buy, obviously.
Yeah, we
used
work at Best Buy.
And that Sun and Moon one, bro. A lot of people came in trying to get it.
Yeah.
And pissed off when they would get the wrong one or like they were. It's the same game, no?
Yeah.
Different legendary in it, yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh,
you
yeah,
just got
it's
a
the
different
same.
legendary. But like
you
you
just
still
like, trade it.
Exactly. or just buy the duology. you know,
Buy an
whatever
action
you want.
replay. Cheat.
Yeah, you see, like I actually don't know if there is a proper working one for the 3DS.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think that they mostly stopped with the DSi.
Oh,
I know because I have one.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Kirby.
Kirby? I don't want to see anything Kirby related.
Do you expect to see anything?
I don't.
I have no idea. I don't know what Nintendo's up to, you guys.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna be Kirby.
I'm not expecting anything Yoshi related either.
Probably no Yoshi. No.
Yeah.
F-Zero. No.
No, definitely not.
No F-Zero. Everyone's gonna be wanting no F-Zero. The big one everyone's trying to figure out: Metroid.
Metroid.
Do you expect either Metroid Prime 4 or a Metroid Prime Trilogy port for the Switch?
I could see the trilogy. I can see them talking about that.
Yeah.
So
I think so. There's no anniversary tied to it this year.
actually,
right?
yeah,
Or is it?
Metroid is also 35.
Really?
Yeah, everyone.
So then,
Whenever anyone mentions Zelda's anniversary, you always have that one guy who's been sitting in the corner the entire time who then pipes up, actually, it's also Metroid's anniversary this year.
I can see that.
So, yeah, it is Metroid's 35th, too.
Nice,
It's
nice,
crazy
nice.
how those two games both came out the same year, Zelda and Metroid. It's also Donkey Kong's 40th.
Huh.
Do we see anything for Donkey Kong?
I can see that happening, actually.
Yeah, I can see it as well.
Yeah.
Don-
like small
Donkey
little
Kong
game.
is older than all these other ones, yeah.
Yeah. Like Donkey Kong 3, the banana split or something. I don't know.
There was already a Donkey Kong 3.
Okay.
It was
Donkey
like,
Kong.
I think it was Donkey Kong Jr. in there.
Fine. Then Donkey Kong 2021, the banana split edition. There you go.
Maybe they'll announce a price drop on Tropical Freeze, finally.
Unlikely. Highly unlikely. Pikmin. Well, okay, people have been asking for Pikmin. For a
Everyone
long
wants Pikmin 4, but
Yeah.
I've never cared for Pikmin.
time. I haven't. I don't either, but there might be something on Pikmin just because people have been asking for it for so long. Now, what I'm more so kind of like wondering about is like, are they going to announce Waluigi for Smash?
No.
You think immediately?
Although they did sort of guarantee that there is going to be new Smash content tomorrow. So yes, Smash is definitely there.
Okay.
Possibly a new character.
Shadow the Hedgehog, maybe.
I don't know. He's an assist trophy. So.
That's so sad.
I'm racking my brain trying to think of what could possibly be next at this point. I tend to think Hayabusa from like Ninja Gaiden
Ninja get
or maybe Rayman.
Rayman could happen. I think Rayman is more likely actually.
Everyone wants Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. I would like to see Crash
I would
Bandicoot on
love
there.
Crash
sure.
Bandicoot.
Yeah. I mean, Crash was pretty great. Though the only Crash game that I played quite religiously was on the PlayStation 1. I don't remember which one that was. And then there was actually a racing game for Crash.
That's rude.
I really didn't mean Crash. I loved Crash as a kid. But yeah, like there was this racing game for it. And
Yeah,
I
Crash Team
absolutely
Racing,
loved it. I would always play as that evil scientist.
The only thing is, Crash Bandicoot is not owned by Sony at all. So, like, if people are looking at Crash Bandicoot being like, it's the Sony rep, the Sony rep would be like Sackboy or Nathan Drake or something.
Right.
You know, it's not going to be Crash Bandicoot's Activision.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I didn't know that.
You know, Crash has never actually been owned by Sony. Like, even back in the day when PS1 stuff was going on, it was owned by Universal and stuff like that. So,
Do you know what I would love to see? 13 trilogy, like Final Fantasy 13 trilogy release for the Switch.
that would be nice. That's also completely expected from you. Of course you'd ask.
I mean, it's something that I would want.
Of course you'd ask for that.
Yeah. Like, we're already expecting Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne to come out in the spring, so
Yes.
we are already going to get that.
That's totally probably going to be there then.
Yeah, probably like a very small snippet, of course, considering...
I could see like a full-on like anime trailer for it. And, you know, and it ends with like a little cliffhanger thingamajiggy, or like they're about to fight God or something, and then like there's like just a release date.
Okay, so like...
I see that.
I'm going to say this, but like... God is dead in the Shin Megami Tensei timeline right now.
Double God. The God of God.
In the last trailer that we saw for 5, we actually saw Lucifer coming in.
There's
Which
your
is pretty different. Because at the end of... spoiler alert. It skipped to like 5 seconds from now.
I'm going to like... I can
You are supposed to kill God at the end of Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. Okay, end of spoiler.
All right. I know nothing about Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no, I'm on the Persona side of things.
Oh, no worries. I mean, I think that you would still enjoy Shin Megami Tensei, even like as a Persona
Yeah.
fan.
No, I want to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I know that you're not much of like an RPG kind of guy.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
No worries.
Double
That's totally fine.
downing on the Weeb stuff real quick before we jump out again.
Yeah,
Fire Emblem or Xenoblade?
I think that neither will be shown.
You don't think neither?
I don't think so.
People are saying we're due for a new Fire Emblem. Although I know we just got that port of the original one, but like
I don't think we're due for.
it's been a couple years since Three Houses now, so. And it has been kind of an every 2 or 3 years thing for Fire Emblem since Awakening.
When was that? Like 17, right?
Interesting.
Uh,
No, 19.
Three Houses 19, yeah.
Yeah, 19.
Fates was 17, and then Awakening was 15, I think.
Yeah.
14, 15.
I have a Fates.
So there's a
3DS.
pattern. There is a Fire Emblem pattern going on here.
I
So
see.
like people are expecting we're due.
Yeah, but Fire Emblem now is going to require more development time, considering that like the graphics, they have to adjust it to like an HD console now.
Yeah.
And while they did a superb job with Three Houses, I wouldn't be surprised if it took them a little bit longer.
I will say, if they do announce a new Fire Emblem tomorrow, that's my pick for the Smash character reveal. Whoever that protagonist is.
I honestly hope not, because we have enough Fire Emblem characters.
I don't mind them. I know the meme is to hate on them, but like I don't mind.
I kind of do. I think we have enough.
I'm gonna laugh when everyone's having all these predictions for Smash characters, like Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Master Chief, whoever, Shrek. They're gonna have all these predictions, and then it's gonna be like the Pokemon from the latest generation.
I'll be
because
honest.
we haven't gotten one yet for Sword and Shield.
I don't want one either.
That's gonna happen, and everyone's gonna get so mad because they got way too high of an expectation. And that's the thing with Nintendo; they always get way too high of expectations, and then they all get mad when Nintendo is like. Yeah, here's some stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Most people would be like, "Oh, thanks, Nintendo. That's some pretty neat games." And everyone else is like, "Why isn't it F-Zero?"
No, yeah, there are always going to be people complaining. Now, I actually want to ask you, if there was any for first-person shooter or even the third-person shooter out there, like any of the ones that you like, which one do you think is most likely to make it onto the Switch?
That are out now?
Yeah.
Or that are going to come out in the future?
I would say that are out now.
So ported.
Yeah.
Got it. Not like so AAA? Like
Anything?
not
No, yeah, like it can be a AAA,
Anything.
AA. I know
for the
it's a
Switch
tough
that's
one.
out now, or the rumored one that's coming out?
The one that's out now.
Yes, yeah, you have to assume that even if the Switch Pro comes out, they're still going to be making, you still have to have the games be relatively playable on the regular Switch.
Yeah.
Got it. I have no idea. I would think. I just even when I had
It
back
is a
in the
tough
day
question.
when I had the when the Wii was popular, Like I never really enjoyed shooting games on there
Yeah.
either.
I thought
Like,
GoldenEye on the Wii was good.
As far as because if there's an Xbox variant or a PlayStation variant,
Mhm.
I wouldn't really even bother with like the
Yeah.
that, to be honest,
Okay.
for Nintendo side.
I mean, that's fair.
It does surprise me that we haven't gotten a Call of Duty game on the Switch at all.
Definitely
Yeah.
very surprising.
You think
for
they
sure.
would have at least put one out?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that, well, Call of Duty games are probably just becoming that demanding.
I mean, but back then, the Wii was like
Yeah.
really, really dumb, and they put out like 5 Call of Duty games for the
I
Wii.
think it's because they sold so many Wiis. How many, like compared to how many Switch has been sold
a
compared
lot.
to the Wii?
Oh, the Switch has been selling great, especially
Mhm.
especially with the unforeseen circumstances. Excuse me,
Right.
I almost said the P word. With the unforeseen circumstances, and everyone buying Animal Crossing. You admitted yourself before we started recording that you bought a Switch for Animal Crossing
Just for
during
that,
this event.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in August.
Mhm.
Exactly. So yeah, people. There's a lot of Switches out. I don't know if the Switch is going to outsell the Wii, but I feel like by the time we reach towards the end of the Switch's lifespan, we're going to look at it as like a resounding success.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually thought that the Switch, like giving it another year or two, it should be able to outsell every Nintendo console.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
The Switch is just selling that well, especially with the release of the Switch Lite, which is a lot more accessible. With like people just want like the portability
And
aspect.
then you have the Switch Pro that's going to be coming out for people who want like that enhanced stuff.
Exactly.
I guess maybe. I mean, we already know it's only been a couple years. It's already outsold the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Pretty
everything-
firmly.
Yeah.
And fun
We're
fact,
talking about like the entire lifetime sales.
and
Oh,
fun fact,
FYI.
fanboys, it's also outsold the PS5. Take that. That was the wrong button.
But the PS5 is
Oh.
brand new.
There.
Oh no, you definitely pressed the wrong button.
No, I pressed the right button there. That's definitive guitar like exclamation point. There.
Blech.
That's what it is. That is the action key now.
Fine.
That is the action key.
With that said, though, like when you told me about this direct happening, I was very excited on the inside because I had completely forgotten that directs were a thing, considering how long it's been. So I was like, wait a second, there's gonna be a direct. It's gonna be massive.
Nintendo's doing something?
Yeah, it's been so long since I last heard anything from them. But
But speaking of something that Nintendo does need to work on, though, we always talk about how Nintendo's doing something when it comes to games. We're so excited, but Nintendo hasn't fixed the Joy-Con drift issue.
Yeah.
But now it turns out Nintendo might not be the only one that has that problem now.
yeah, and there was actually-
Transition.
And there was actually like a class action lawsuit on Nintendo's side, and that may also be happening for Sony because the DualSense controller is now experiencing stick drift. It's apparently pretty bad for some people, like pretty darn bad. I haven't experienced it myself. I don't play that often though, but apparently it is pretty damn bad.
So, what do we do?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Well, we would have to send it back, no?
Yeah, I guess so. I heard somewhere, but don't quote me on this, that they are having problems even fixing it. That they're gonna have to like do something to redesign it. I heard, but I could be wrong.
That's where we use the word allegedly.
Yeah, there you go, allegedly. Other than that, I guess like get like a Q-tip and put some alcohol and like move it around. Like, what else can you do?
Not even on the
It hasn't
inside,
been out
too.
for 6 months, has it?
Not
Like,
even-
and it's already
no.
happening.
Not even
No,
on the
no.
inside, just rubber Q-tip like on the actual like stick parts. Like, it'll soak it into the cushion, and then
Oh my goodness, yeah.
you sanitize your DualSense.
Yeah, yeah. Now, like, be careful. Don't break it. Don't break it because those motion controls are very important. Don't mess up those haptics.
Oh,
Very
yes.
special haptics.
Yes, that's. Have you used a DualSense at all?
I actually haven't.
Oh.
I have the new Xbox remote, the Series remote.
Okay.
They made it like slightly smaller. It's basically the same thing. They just made it physically smaller. I do feel the difference. Like I don't have huge hands, but I actually like the grip wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the Xbox One, it's a better remote for my hands, the older generation. However, I understand why they they shrunk it. It's slightly less comfortable for me, but from the video I saw from Microsoft, for most gamers, they're more on the smaller hand side, kids and stuff. So having it smaller, it's better for a majority of gamers. So I understand why they did it.
I find this very interesting because if there's one thing that I remember when I was able to control the DualSense for the first time, it's that the controller was significantly heavier than the DualShock 4.
Got it.
Like maybe not area size bigger, but it's heavier, and that's not. I'm not saying like a little kid's gonna be like, oh, I can't play.
Right.
But like it does feel kind of interesting that they kind of went in the opposite directions. You know, Xbox decided to make their entire form factor smaller and presumably lighter, and the PlayStation just decided to make it heavier.
Yeah.
Or the haptic. That's it. Haptic controls. You should have like brought it up here so that way he could have tested it out or something like that on the podcast. But
I should have, yeah.
But like the haptic controls need to become like the standard going forward.
Yeah.
It's that good.
I think it's a game changer.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it is very much like I mean, man, look,
It's so
like,
satisfying.
what's it called on the Joy-Cons again?
Haptic? No, the Joy-Cons don't have haptic things. They have
Yeah, they do.
They have the 3D rumble.
3D Rumble.
But that's a different thing than haptic, though. Like,
Is it?
yeah, like DualSense has its own 3D rumble, which is also really good too. Like they perfected whatever Nintendo was trying to do. Well, we say perfected, but of course, you know, that depends on what games are going to end up using it. You know, the launch titles from Sony themselves always use these technologies way more than the actual studios will.
Right.
No, haptic, I'm thinking of the triggers. Like how like it gives you like a little bit of resistance before you can actually like
Gotcha.
I don't know how Demon Souls uses it, but like Miles Morales used it really well.
Oh, so far, I honestly have not experienced that at all. I don't know why. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they've implemented it on there or not, to be completely frank, but even if I'm like dying, like my character is attacking just fine.
The two games that I used, that I played that really made use of it was Astro's Playroom, which I'm pretty sure is built into your PS5, so play it. It's not a baby's game, I swear. No, Astro's Playroom was actually really cool because it like the stages are based on like components of the PS5. So like, there's a CPU world, a cooling world, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that made really good use of the haptic controls because there's a point I think where you become like a spring and it's like
Yeah.
And then Miles Morales with the web slinging, the haptic controls is really good too because like you just feel that click when the web comes out. It's just really nice.
Yeah.
I have a friend who he got it for his PC, and then later on his brother got a PS4, and he did mention the that resistance, and he said it was night and day. Is that ever gonna go for PC as well if you connect it, or you think that it has to be done on the PlayStation?
That's probably on the PlayStation.
Yeah, right now it is going to be PlayStation exclusive. I do hope that that's something that maybe they can then implement with Steam or something like that. But
maybe they can implement it. I don't know. I see it sooner that like third-party people start making their own controllers with haptic feedback for PC. You know, maybe Mad Catz makes a return. And,
Mad Catz of all people.
Mad Catz. That's the universal sign of you're at a friend's house and they're giving you the
extra remote.
You know, the bad controller. You know, or like the little brother controller. It's
Now, most importantly, there's a very trying topic. Something that I've been wondering about for quite some time. I especially have been wondering about the RTX 3080 Ti and whenever that's actually going to drop. Oh, by the way, there's actually news on the RTX 3060 non-Ti. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It comes out at the end of this month.
But why? We already have the Ti.
Yeah, but this one costs $330.
And what does the Ti cost?
$400.
So?
Well, I mean, the regular 3060 might be in stock.
Oh, well.
Maybe less people will be interested.
It won't be.
I'm trying here. So
But yeah, actually, I don't know. Yeah. This is, in fact, the NVIDIA shame corner once again.
it is on the green button after all.
Yes.
So
Continue.
So there's that. But most importantly, what caught my attention this morning, actually, specifically, is that I noticed that the RTX 3080 is going to get a mobile version, which sounds wonderful, right? Sounds very good. Sounds wonderful. Sounds amazing. It's exactly everything that we've ever wanted. But it is rumored to be 40% slower than the desktop version. That was pretty loud. It is rumored to be 40% slower than the desktop version of the RTX 3080, which means that, in theory, we'd kind of be reverting back to like 2080 Ti speeds, maybe just a little bit better. And then God knows how that graphics card is going to handle thermals, too. I feel like that's going to be kind of a nightmare.
I'm tired of playing the button.
You just love the soundboard here.
That button's my favorite.
No, that button's going away as soon as season 1 ended. Gosh damn.
That's my favorite button. You know, again, definitive exclamation point statement. NVIDIA new graphics card. See?
Where's the boo button?
That's not a boo button.
Oh,
Which one is
I
it?
thought you said.
It's probably just gonna be that one.
Gotcha. Well, that's the sign you have to hear because they're gonna release all these graphics cards, and they still haven't found a way to manufacture them and make them readily available for most people.
That's right.
It's really
That is
annoying.
right. Now that's the part when Francisco dips out because he's not allowed to talk about this particular issue anymore. So, Jonathan, tell us about that whole scalper issue. Am I right?
Yeah, it's really annoying. You know, you get the fact that you couldn't. I have friends who tried and tried and tried Best Buy, Newegg for years, for months on end, and they still to this day can't. They still can't, and they're not trying to buy it from a scalper, and because they want to pay reasonable pricing, and it's still a problem.
It really is a huge problem.
And you know who I blame?
Who do you blame?
The people who support these scalpers. You know what I'm saying? The people who...
Wrong one.
You see, that's what you get for getting way too spicy there. Trying to mute me. You shall not mute Tech Summit himself.
You were saying though. You were saying.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
go
So it you shouldn't. I mean, I guess you know, impatience or whatever. But it when you go online and you hear about people using bots to secure a certain amount, and surprisingly, a lot of these companies are not ready for that. You know what I mean? And it screws everybody over. The fact that no one like an Xbox Series X, you still can't, like, who's buying, like, compared to the PlayStation 5 from we know from last generation, you still can't get your hands on Microsoft consoles.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
It really is.
Especially compared to, like, they were practically giving the ones away towards the end, you know? But scalpers to this day, you just can't. And it's because of people like Mr. Tech Summit who support them. Oh my gosh.
You know, I was going to compliment you and say, wow, you went into rant mode. I love it, but now I actually take back everything that I was just about to say.
It is Justifer.
It is Justifer. You're right.
Justify.
No, it's Justifer.
It's just a forgettable thing that you... Well, no, it's not forgettable because...
I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Me fail English. That's impossible.
I owned the co-host, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, scalping is bad. No.
What
now?
No, you can't say that.
Why not?
Because, as we will remind the audience, Francisco did in fact pay scalper prices for both the 3090 as well as the PlayStation 5.
Or you don't like getting muted, huh? Do you?
No, I'll find a way around it. It's okay. I'll find a way around it because I am justified in complaining about scalpers. I can still do that. You can't.
I can because I wasn't happy about paying higher prices.
But you did.
Yeah, because I had to.
No, you didn't.
What do you mean I didn't?
You could have waited. You could have been a patient little boy like you said you were going to be. And then you didn't.
Okay, with the PlayStation 5, sure. I was maybe less justified with that. But with the RTX 3090, I mean, come on.
Slightly more justified, still not excused.
I still did it. You're right. Do I regret it?
You should.
I should.
That was from Francisco.
In all seriousness, it really isn't a good idea to buy from scalpers at all. What I did was foolish on both fronts because I mean, in the case of the 3090, I only spent a little bit more, but I got lucky. In the case of the PlayStation 4, I paid about double.
And of course, for a lot of
five.
people, who are looking for graphics cards, they're going to be wanting the Founders Edition, which notably you did not get. And the Founders Edition costs way more.
Yeah, and it's supposed to actually be the cheapest one of the bunch, but unfortunately, because it's the one that most people want, it went way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, you can usually find it for around 2,500 to 6,000.
Am I the only one? I don't
3,000.
necessarily like the way the Founders design, like the original design of them. Do you guys like that?
I like it actually.
I thought
I'm
MSI.
an MSI guy. Like I like the way they design them.
Oh, you kind of look like the super gamery aesthetic to the graphics
I don't
are.
mind it. And I have like that vertical one, so it's like you get to see it from the side.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right, you're fancy. You did vertically mount your graphics card. I should do that.
That is very interesting.
Well, I have a really good case for it too. Like it's like I forgot what it's like the 71 View, I think, by Thermaltake.
I totally know which one that is.
Well, it basically like it has glass everywhere, but it's like it's held on by screws, so each corner is not really like sealed. So it's like you get airflow from everywhere.
Oh, I see. Like it has a bit of a gap in between, like the
Yeah.
case itself and the glass side panel.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Speaking of glass side panels, my glass side panel exploded the other day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I actually have a picture here. It is a very horrible view. It makes me sad every time I look at it.
You got to put that photo up in for the YouTube video.
Yes.
What the hell? Did you kick it?
No, I didn't. I was holding that piece of glass in my hands. I was just trying to put it back onto my PC. It shattered right in my hand.
Just like a Looney Tunes thing.
I know. It sounds like a joke. It sounds like a fantasy story. It sounds completely made up, but that was the saddest thing I experienced that whole week.
Did you cut your hand?
Huh?
Did you cut your hand?
I did get like one tiny cut on my thumb. Like luckily I wouldn't say that I got any kind of notable injuries from that.
Do you guys like?
It was just a lot of cleaning.
Yeah, I mean that's on the photo there. It's on the ground. Do you guys keep your towers on the floor, or do you have enough space on the table? Like my brother, for instance, he has enough space on his table, but he refuses for some reason.
Nah, I keep mine on the ground.
I also
Okay,
keep
as
mine
well?
on the floor.
Okay.
It has to do with acoustics, because if you're like recording anything, PC fans are probably going to
Yeah.
seep through. That's one thing. Two, the lights might get a little bit too overbearing. They're like right next to my face. And three, I can make room for other things. I mean, come on.
Yeah, my desk retail space is very limited. So I need to like make sure that I have that space for other things that I need. And also, I just don't like the idea of running the risk of like putting a tower on the desk, and it turns out that it exceeds the weight capacity, and the entire desk comes crumbling down. And,
Yeah, that's understandable.
you know, if it's an IKEA desk, for example, you don't want to run with that.
Yeah, that's why I only buy my desks on Amazon.
So much better.
I mean, it's basically IKEA, but they deliver
It's
for free.
online IKEA.
It's free shipping. That's all. Because with IKEA, it's like $40 to deliver certain things. It's kind of insane, actually. Like, I tried to order some drawers from their ones, and they were like, okay, like, this is an $80 set. We're going to charge you $40 to deliver it. And this is from the IKEA that's also in Brooklyn. So just imagine that.
Just show up in person, get some cinnamon buns.
I did like those cinnamon buns quite a bit. And they're well priced,
You
too.
ever have the IKEA cinnamon buns?
No, I've had like their like meatballs, and I didn't like them.
No?
Well, you need the cinnamon buns.
Gotcha.
I like
didn't
the
until we tried
meatballs,
them.
but yeah, the cinnamon buns are something else.
Yeah, there you go.
Such a weird thing, like IKEA.
They know
Yeah.
they know that they have like an entire maze format, and that people are going to get lost, and that halfway through their journey they need a food court. That's what it is. That is exactly how it's laid out.
And I just
So they can
recently
eat on
learned
the
you
line.
could skip that. You could skip the maze. Did you know this? That you could go straight to like the area where you just pick up your stuff.
I knew it.
Damn. So close.
So close.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. No worries.
Very easy to censor, though.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Very easy
last
to
time I
censor.
went to IKEA, I knew what I wanted, and I literally had to go around the store. And then I'm talking to somebody, and they say, "No, you don't need to do that, bro. Like, you could just like skip that and go to the area and pick out what
You
you
pick up
want."
the box or something.
I did not know that. I remember going in, and I thought that wasn't allowed. Like, I saw the door to get to the checkout, and I thought I had to go up
Oh, okay, yeah.
and go through the maze.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'll be honest with you. There's been a couple of times too where it's like I know what I want to get, and so I'm just like speed walking through the IKEA to try and get there ASAP.
Yeah.
And you always have the kids with like the strollers or whatever, and they get in the way, and so you have to do some sort of like weird dodging.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like dance art.
And at one point, you go like, "Am I still going the right way?"
It does get very packed over there for sure. And like sometimes they'll just have like the different pieces like spread out for one particular set, and that can be a little frustrating to look through. But I do genuinely like going to IKEA. I think
It is
it's
an experience.
Yeah.
And their cinnamon buns are great.
Yes.
I like to pretend that some of their living rooms are mine.
For
I mean, they can be yours
the low
if
price.
you sell those
of-
sneakers. Like that, they could probably help.
Gets you halfway there, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. But RTX 3080 mobile being 30% slower than the desktop version, that is incredibly disappointing. I don't know.
It is a
that's pretty
laptop.
bad. It is a laptop, but 40%?
40% is a very big, you said it before we were recording that it's basically on par with a 2080 essentially at that point.
2080 Ti, I would say. Like a little bit more powerful than a desktop 2080 Ti. And like you would expect usually like a performance drop if you're going to be dealing with like laptop components and things like
All
that.
right.
But 40% is something that's I mean,
Okay.
I haven't heard of something like that in a while.
All right, watch out. I'm about to trash talk people who buy gaming laptops. Ready?
Oh, snap, go for it.
All 5 of you, listen up.
If you buy a gaming laptop and that is your primary mode of gaming, you cannot expect it to have similar performance to a desktop. Flat out. If you if you are in the market for a gaming PC and your initial thought is, let me go for the $2,400 Falcon Northwest gaming laptop, and you act surprised that it is not the same performance as a PC around that same price,
Mm-hmm.
all right, that's not. Come on, guys.
That's not something that I've personally encountered. Like, I've never met anybody that would expect, like, let's say a 2080 on the laptop to perform exactly the same on a 2080 on the desktop.
Right. I'm just saying, like 40% is a lot, but at the same time,
It's almost half.
Huh?
It's almost half.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot, but you cannot expect the exact same performance as a regular 3080
Of course.
into a laptop.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't see the idea of using a laptop for games. So, okay, I've used a laptop for video games before. Usually indie games, like your Undertales, your 2D games that can run relatively fine on hardware that isn't that intensive. If you're trying to use a laptop that has a 3080 in it, that means that you're trying to play like Doom Eternal or Cyberpunk on a laptop. Why would you want to do that, considering how hot that thing is going to run as a result of trying to run a game like that?
Exactly. Thermals, I would say, is
that
ultimately why.
That is a
can be
good
possible.
way to toast your thighs.
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, most people are not gonna have like their laptops on their lap. As
It is a
intended.
laptop.
Yeah, but most people don't game that way
Yeah.
on their laptop.
On a gaming laptop, what do you do? What is your setup for a gaming laptop then?
It's on my desk.
Get a desktop!
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but like if I need to go somewhere else, I can just close it, take it with me. Bye-bye.
Get a Switch!
Get a Switch, but
Get GeForce Now!
what if I do other stuff on that laptop, like I edit videos?
iPad!
If you're
iPad, but then I can't play those games anymore.
if you're on the go constantly, then yes. But
What's up?
no, if you're on the go constantly, it's the only way it makes sense. Literally, like why?
And
Why
and-
get a
I think that's
laptop?
And
fair.
even
I
then,
think
it's
that's
like, how are you supposed to play? Like, a lot of those big games are going to require an actual mouse. You're not going to like settle for like
Right, you're
gonna
gonna
use
need
a
the space
trackpad.
of a desk anyways.
Yeah.
You need to you need to use a mouse for a lot of those games. So
Yeah.
if you're on the go and you're trying to play Doom, how are you going to do it with anything other than a controller?
There you go.
You can use a controller.
You just got destroyed by facts and logic.
You can use a controller.
Yes, you could always.
Okay,
use a
but
controller.
Civilization. If you want to play Civilization, which you shouldn't be doing on a controller, by the way.
I mean,
But if you want to play Civilization,
shouldn't the trackpad
you need
be
a
enough?
mouse. You can't, huh?
Shouldn't the trackpad be enough for Civ?
Does Civ have middle mouse button controls? I had a point. I had a point.
Because Civ is more like turn-based and stuff, so like it's not like you need like split-second reactions or anything like that.
I just imagine playing Civ on a trackpad, and it just sounds miserable.
I mean, like,
I think I tried to once too.
okay, like I can understand that. Like, sure, it's not the best experience, but like it's doable. It's not gonna make you any worse at the game.
I just think gaming laptops are, and this is coming from someone who way back in the day, I was like, oh yeah, gaming laptop sounds so cool. I want a gaming laptop. Give me a gaming laptop. Right. But it just seems like you're paying so much for a gaming laptop for something that's probably going to run so hot that eventually the components just sort of wear off a lot faster than they would in a desktop, and you have to buy a new one eventually anyway. Like instead of upgrading in say 4 or 5 years, you're going to be upgrading in 2.
A lot of gaming laptops do tend to be made out of plastic, and like they do tend to have a lot of issues with like the hinge, for instance. That's like one of the first things that ends up breaking on these laptops. So, you know, you're definitely sacrificing build quality, longevity, and things like that. A desktop ultimately would be the best option.
Yeah. Do you guys have? I have a lot of friends who like play mouse and keyboard, but like on their bed, and I've never been in a position to do that, so I find it weird. But they like swear by it.
So, a couple of years ago, I had a dream where I could play games on my laptop in bed while it doesn't melt my thighs, and I can use the mouse. I needed a comfortable spot. So
this is not like a sponsorship.
No.
like he's setting us up for a sponsorship deal.
So I took a piece of wood, wall plywood, cut it up to the shape where it was long enough to fit my laptop and a mouse pad, and I hot glued those things down. I also added a wrist rest, and I was playing CS:GO on my bed. For some reason, that was like the first game that I
wait. Did you hot glue the laptop to the plank?
No, the mouse pad. And I actually still have it downstairs too.
I was so scared.
That was a piece of art. So yes, I can swear by it. It is pretty cool.
I did 3D art on my bed with a laptop and a mouse. I didn't need a mouse pad because I was using a trackball, but like I sort of had it like I was like laying horizontally like so, and then I had this, and I was just kind of like doing like that. And I would do my work like that. Games, my laptop can technically play some games, but I didn't really play that many games on it.
Gotcha.
I usually just went to the desktop or I played on a console.
So my friends have it on the TV, so all they have is like the keyboard on their like thighs, and then the mouse like on the bed next to them. And I don't know how they, like, I guess they must put some sort of trackpad down, but it's in because it's like, so the keyboard is like slightly more raised than their mouse, and it's I think that would trip me up, but it could just be me because I've never tried it.
Oh,
it trips you up at first, and then you get used to it.
Yeah.
Probably.
However, it is something that I can vouch for. I think it's a great way.
If you can do it, I feel like it's very convenient. You can
yes.
Literally, like there's times where like I don't want to like sit on a desk. Like I wish I could just sit, lay back.
I can completely relate.
One of the drawbacks to my new desktop setup, I cannot take it to the bed and just work on the bed. I can't.
I mean, look, in my case, I kind of like that idea now, because if I can work from bed, that means that I'm going to take my work back to bed when it's bedtime. And that's just going to make it so that I never go to sleep. It's going to make me so unproductively
productive. We got a workaholic here.
Yeah, I should have been in that show.
What a braggadocious.
Braggadocious?
Yeah, you're just bragging.
No, I'm not a bragger. I would never. I'm
humble. Look at all the work he gets done.
Everybody, you know,
Just
I
flexing
stay
on people
humble.
who are too depressed to get work done.
I said stay humble. But with that said, I think we've said our piece for tonight.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Jonathan, for jumping in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Are you going to be here on Saturday on the record?
For the next episode?
Yeah, for the next episode,
don't
episode
know.
29. You are, right?
If one person says yes, then yes.
Yes.
In the comments.
Okay, I can comment. That's fine. Perfectly fine with me.
Work out then.
All right.
In either
you'll be
case,
inside
thank you
there.
very much for coming down here. It was fantastic to have you.
Yes.
And of course, if you guys are watching on YouTube, all of the social media for Tech Summit plus Jonathan is going to be right here at the bottom of the video. And if you are listening in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, all that stuff will be in the respective descriptions.
That's right. So with that said, thank you very much for joining us in episode 28, and we'll see you for 29. This has been Francisco.
Chris,
Jonathan.
And we'll be seeing you all on the next one.
good night. Travel well.